various experiences in India and in Thailand and in various things, please read carefully all the papers, because I find that the papers have touched the critical issue that our scientific development, our teaching of economics, our teaching of political science and environment are too narrow, are too silo, are too bound into limited fields. And we are creating students that will not be fighters for sustainable development. And as such, if that happens, then we that are fighting, that know about sustainable development, are responsible for this failure. So the message of this conference is that we are trying to build a genuine sustainable development. The mistakes are being recognized by the speakers in this meeting. Our task is now to move forward, to find new horizons, new challenges that solve the problem of the past and make the future more sustainable. Indonesia Forest Fire 2015, another 2019. Please let there be no forest fire in 2020 and beyond. If that happens, then all students of our Sekolah Ilmu Lingkungan are actually failures of sustainable development. May God give you guidance to prevent this and lead us into the way of a successful, sustainable development. Thank you.
Please remain on the stage to receive a present gift, and we would like to invite Dr. Tri Edi Budi Susilo MSI, the Vice Director School of Environmental Science, University Indonesia, to give the present gift to Professor MSI. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we are now continuing our program to announce the best presenter and the best poster. The best poster determined by poster content and poster appearance, and the best presenter determined by content, structure, body language and use of visual aid, language and delivery pronunciation. And the best poster is, drum roll please. The paper ID 25390 by Kado Suharyono and Maksud with the title Dispersion of Element 121 Radioactive Airborne in the form of CH3I, HOI, and I2 from radioisotope production facilities type to the environment. To Mr. Kado Suharyono, please go to the stage. Here. And the best presenter is the paper title 27019 by Maki B. Nakano, Outer Sea Fishing and Sea Space Cognition of Sama Bajau people in Banggai Island, Central Sulawesi, Indonesia. To Ms. Maki B. Nakano, please come to the stage. And we would like to invite Dr. Tri Edi Budi Susilo, the Vice Director School of Environmental Science, Universitas Indonesia, to give the with a gift and also deliver his closing remarks and officially close the ICESSD 2019 today. Thank you. And to Dr. Dr. Triadi Busra to deliver his closing remarks and officially close the conference. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers and all the participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of School of Environmental Science, Universitas Indonesia, I thank you all for having joined this international conference on environmental science and sustainable development 2019. I am really happy and feel deeply gratified of you, the wonderful people here who has performed a great involvement in this conference. I especially greet the participants from Korea, Japan, and from some universities in Indonesia who has made themselves available to attend this conference. All the contribution of knowledge and research which has disseminated in this conference would be a meaningful step forward for the strengthening the environmental science and sustainable development goals. We also hope that all of us will keep our spirit high to always getting involved in the environmental science research and sustainable development issues. Finally, I would like to close my remarks and officially announce the end of the conference and wishing the future prosperity of all participants. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Triadi Budisusilo for the speech. Before we leave, it's better to commemorate this occasion in a photo session.
To all audience, please move forward to the stage to take a picture together. And then please move forward. Yeah. To take a picture together. To all photographers, please be ready. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can stand up in this stage and then also.
Aku titip ke siapa?
Oh.
Baju semua ya? Boleh ya titip ya?
Mari silakan ke depan. To all speaker and school lecture, please go to the stage, and then the all remain audience, please stand up in the. Bapak Ibu pembicara, silakan naik ke atas panggung.
Your story reports that in the 9th century, hundreds of later, the god of the field became angry because the people had been eating beef. The god sent a plague of locusts to destroy the crops. According to the Heian period's English, a person who ate the meat of a domestic animal had to fast for 3 days. So in the 9th century, there's already strong superstition that eating meat may cause failure of rice agriculture. So sometimes this ban of meat was recognized as because influenced by Buddhists, but it's not. Because many Buddhist societies like Thailand or China do eat meat. But in Japan has a unique superstition that eating meat is failure of rice agriculture. So that the emperor stopped eating meat in 7th century. And in the following Kamakura period, the eating of beef or horse meat was unthinkable. Later, when Jesuit missionaries met with the famous warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Hideyoshi questioned them harshly about their custom of eating beef and horse meat. So this is a side from to literature. So please go to me. And the end of Ban. It wasn't until the westernization of Japan during the Meiji period that the Japanese were finally able to overcome the centuries of social taboo against meat to enjoy it freely. So it took 1,200 years. Japanese people didn't eat meat because of superstition. But when in 1853, when American fleet arrived in Japan, Japan decided to stop the policy of isolation and involved in the world. Japan wanted to catch up European society. Only for that reason, only for the reason Japan wants to be globalized. Japan stopped 1,200 year the ban on meat. That is the order by emperor. So in 1872, the 5th year of his reign, the Meiji emperor broke that 1,200 year ban on meat eating by celebrating the new year by eating meat. The fact that the emperor ate meat of their own accord encouraged Japanese citizens of every social class to also begin eating meat. Moreover, 1872 saw a change in religious laws, as Buddhist monks were also permitted to eat meat. So Japan changed from one extreme to the other extreme. The right bottom picture painting is someone still wearing chonmagi traditional hairstyle, but the other is already Western hairstyle and who are eating beef. So, okay, next. So, but after Meiji era, Japan changed. So during Meiji era, consumption of beef became 8 times. And Taisho era, pork became more consumed than beef. So rapidly we increase our consumption of meat. On just in Showa era, rice consumption decreased from 160 kilograms per person per year to 71 kilograms. So diet culture of Japan also changed from rice to other different crops. Yeah, today, so Yoshinoya gyudon, that beef bowl is very common food for us. But I surprised that Japanese beef bowl is already exported to Indonesia. So this is from the website of Indonesia. And another photo is a pepper lunch. This is Japanese style steak lunch. But this is also I can find this restaurant in Indonesia too. Okay, next. So I want to talk a bit more about food security and carrying capacity. So this is very classic theory that Malthus population theory is a population multiplied geometrically and food arithmetically. So this is too much simplified, but just I said only the essence only. So this said population increase more far rapidly than increase of food production. Okay, next please. Yeah, Malthus was correct. So left figure shows a rapid population increase of the world. So in 18th century, the global population was half billion. But now, world population is reaching nearly 7 billion. So population increased as Malthus expected. On the right side is the increase of total farmland in the world. So this is the data from 1960s until 2010. So, but the agricultural land increased very, very slowly. So in this data suggests that Malthus was correct. Next please. But Malthus could not predict the real future. So left one is comparing the increase of population and cereal production production of the world. So from 1960, so the y-axis shows the ratio, not the real value, but ratio as 1960 as 1. So population increased from 1960 to 2000, twice. This is very rapid increase of population. However, cereal production of the world increased more than twice. So land did not increase, but production increased very rapidly. And another is the right figure shows the world population growth separated by the region. So after 1950s, the real increase of population was happening in Asia. So Asia population increased about 1 billion to about 5 billion. But the European population did not increase, Okay. Yeah. So now there are many food are produced more than human needs. So that now so many foods are used as biofuels, such as corn and sugar cane. And in Indonesia, so there are oil palms. But yeah, so we have more food than we need. Also, this data is compiled by Professor Kawashima of University of Tokyo. The right table shows how much cereal we consume per person per year. For example, under East Asia, humans eat 214 kilograms of cereals. And also we eat livestock, meat. So, because livestock were fed by humans, fed with cereals. So the cereals necessary to feed livestock are shown here. So to afford East Asian, we consume meat equivalent to 70 kilograms of cereals. So in total, 284 kilograms cereals East Asian eat. And in Southeast Asia, 313 kilograms for humans and 38 kilograms cereals for livestock, for meat. And in South Asia, 214 for humans and only 6 kilograms for livestock, because in South Asia, so many people are vegetarians, do not eat meat. So that necessity for the livestock is small. However, please see, for example, North America, the 4 lines from the bottom. They consume 376 kilograms cereal for humans and 583 kilograms for livestock. That means North American people are meat eater, especially beef eater. So that consumption of cereals directly are similar level with Asia, but consumption of cereals through livestock are much far higher than Asia. The same pattern was shown in North European countries. Next, please. So, diversity of Asian cuisine culture. Because compared to European cuisine culture, which prefer to consume beef, East Asian prefer to eat pork and fishes, Muslim chicken, and South Asian vegetables. Pork and chicken require smaller amount of cereal feed than beef. According to one data, 8 kilograms cereal are necessary for feeding 1 kilogram beef, but 4 kilograms for pork and 2 kilograms for chicken. So 0.4 hectare farmland necessary for feeding 1 European, while 0.1 hectare for 1 Japanese and 0.07 hectare for vegetarians. Also, Asian cuisine culture includes insects, wild plants, animals, etc. as foodstuffs which do not require farmland. So that Asian traditional diet that are different from European. This diversity food culture have contributed to avoid global food security risk during the global population expansion. As I said, global population rapidly expanded, but most of the expansion happened in Asia. But we need to remember the globalization cuisine culture of Japan. Next, please. So this is the data also compiled by Professor Kawashima. So here shows the increase of consumption meat. So at the right part table, so East Asia, in 1965, we consume only 4.5 meat per person per year. But in 2004, we eat 54.4 kilogram meat per year. So dramatically increase. So even in Southeast Asia, only 8.1 kilogram in 1961 and 21.7 in 2004. So I can see so many McDonald's, KFC, and many restaurants in Jakarta. Because Indonesian people also now prefer to eating meat and also especially beef, increasingly. Yeah, so before we have a traditional diet, diversity of diet, so we avoided food security problem. But now if we Asian diet culture changes to European ones, so we may experience real food security problem in future. Okay, next please. Yeah, so finally I want to say importance of spectrum. Spectrum is because I was so impressed with the word by Emma Watson in her speech in the United Nations. So both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. It is time that we all perceive gender on the spectrum, not as two opposing sets of ideas. So spectrum is frequently used as represent kinds of diversity. But she said men and women, that two, but there are only two, but not dichotomous. But she said this, we can view these two groups can be seen in the spectrum. Next please. So spectrum is originally meaning like a prism of light. So here rainbow we can see spectrum of solar light. Next. So this shows that in how we classify rainbow. In Japan, we classify 7 colors of rainbow. In United States, they classify into 6 colors. And Germany, 5, and they say flawless people of Indonesia classified to 4. But if we view the rainbow in these 7 colors, 6 or 5 colors, we have boundary between colors. But we classify color and we have border among colors. But right side, reality, real spectrum, there is no boundary among colors. No boundary between red and yellow. No boundary between yellow and green. And that is the important spectrum. Next please. Yeah, and this shows one human genetic study made by United States scientists. So they did a genotype analysis of Indonesian population and Philippine population, other island Southeast Asian population. So they found that Indonesian Southeast Asian people are sharing so many genetic roots among them. Therefore, even Indonesian people, even Jawa people are sharing its ancestor with Papuans, with Thailand, continental Southeast Asia and Philippines. So because humans lived in Indonesia more than 5,000 years, and in the history of 5,000 years, we have so many mixture of culture and even mixture of human. So we do not need to make a boundary among ethnic groups. We can view different people as in spectrum. Next. Yeah, and also back to the first slide. So even SDG goals should not be separated goals. So we should view these different goals in a spectrum, no boundary, and how to tackle each goal should be made in harmony with other goals. Yeah, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.